what is a mistake, a failure, or something that's significant to you that you learned the most from and that maybe someone else can learn from?
We try to keep everyone right. For me, I've learned the hard way of not just taking a job just to keep people working, because unfortunately, we've lost lots of money. I mean, we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to do that. And that doesn't help. It doesn't help the people are able to keep. It only helps the people, some of the people we would have to get rid of who may go work somewhere else. So now we're pretty much making a decision to sink the whole ship to try to keep people here. That's a difficult decision. Someone comes up to you and, the job's worth 1.5 and they're like, well, I need you to do it at 1 and you need work. And so you take it. And we've been in that situation. We've done it and we've learned the hard way. That's just not the right way to do things.
Yeah, the early on is like all revenue is good revenue, and then you realize, no,
not all revenue.
Welcome to The Roll Call, the podcast where we dive into the roles that define us. I'm your host, John Glahn. On each episode, we explore the journeys of people discovering their true roles in life, business, and beyond. Get ready for inspiring conversations about finding purpose and authenticity. Let's roll the roll call. All right, welcome everyone to the podcast. I have with me Rob Doan, owner of Power Solutions, electrical contractor in Metro Detroit, and growing more. And I want to have Rob on because we have a similar journey that we've had timing-wise in entrepreneurship. We both started our messes together, and always wanted to have him on. So I think all are accounted for. Rob, let's start the show.
Robert Doan, CEO of Power Solutions Group. I'm electrical contractor in Michigan and Florida.
Yeah.
I guess, where do I go from here? What do you want to know?
No, man, this is where it's just we're gonna go from here. So, you started the business how long ago?
So in 2011 is when I really got going. We incorporated in 2009, but I was still working full time somewhere else.
Yeah.
So 2011, I took the leap, went on my own, and that's it's been crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So what, I think it's again, you obviously were an electrical contractor, right? Working for someone. I only worked at one other place, and my apprenticeship, my journeyman license, my master's license, and I received my contractor's license while I was there also. Awesome.
So, yeah.
So what made you get the bug? What made you say, you know what, I can go do this on my own?
I always wanted to. I never, working for someone else was never my plan. I had to do it to get to where I wanted to go. So that's all I ever thought about. I said it was just a means to get to where I needed to go. Right. So it was always in my plan. I didn't care about I cared about the work. I love what I do, but going on my own and having my own company was my plan.
Wow. You mentioned the journeyman, actually, because I'm trying to help a young fellow who's, realizing that college isn't the route and trying to go the trades route, because it's a fantastic career, aside from trying to start your own business. But right. So, and trying to show him that real journey. It's not what I thought, like in the past, right? Being a plumber or electrician, right? There are ways you just get thrown into it, because I did manual labor as a kid, right? So I just assumed you're just a lackey that you start turning wrenches at some point. But there's a very curated, there's a process with training that some companies do really well and some don't. And that's one thing I know you guys, it's a cornerstone of what you do is raising talent.
Right, bringing them up ourselves, showing them the way we want things done. Not just the way we want things done, but the right way to do them, and with safety always at the forefront. That's not where I came from.
Right.
Where I came from was, you were screamed at, you were yelled at, things were thrown at you, and you did it. You never did it the wrong way again.
Yeah, right.
You worked long hours. So we try to do things differently. We have a different approach, and it's working. When I say you talk about college, yeah, college isn't for everyone. It wasn't for me. I was not a great student. I was always somewhere else. I graduated with a really low GPA, but I had a really good work ethic. I worked since I was 13 years old. I didn't have any other choice. Right. So I didn't come from anything, and we built it all from the bottom. So. Yeah,
no, and that's that hustle, right? That grind.
And I would say that's hard. And I know from my own family, in fact, that some have it, some don't. And when you don't have it, doesn't mean you're going to have hustle. And even if you grow up with nothing, doesn't mean you're going to have that hustle. Sometimes you still stay there. Mm-hmm. I grew up with a single mom. We lived in low-income housing. We had, government and cheese. We had all the stuff that everyone would have said you wouldn't be successful. And I had many people tell me that.
Yeah, you're not coming out of this.
No, right. I mean, because it's easy to stay there, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to sit around and do nothing and take free handouts, but that's not what I wanted. It's still not what I want. I work hard every single day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we'll come back to that because I know obviously you've become very successful and you get to enjoy life now, but you're still working, right? Still
every single day.
Every day. Right alongside your people, right? And that's back to I think that from my side of the business, from we're a supplier to you, we've always recognized your employees they've been there many of them have been there from the beginning, and many of them are again long-standing employees, and that's attributable to so many different things. But
yeah, I mean, I have the very first person I ever hired. In fact, he actually worked for me before I quit my job. He's still with me today.
Wow.
So, and I mean, most of the people that I hired within my first 2 years are still here.
Yeah.
They don't leave.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, we could take this whole down a path of like the parenting thing of like, 'cause, you mentioned how you were brought up in the business was the hard way. Same thing. Many people like, right? Our generation, right? We were physically told what to do.
Oh yeah.
so like, how do you, we always want to do better than what we had, right? But then for you to present to that onto your employees, you can see the results, right?
Right. And I have people that, they tell me because I feel like we need to be more forceful to get our point across. But unfortunately, or fortunately, people just don't react to that anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they'll just leave. So we have to sidestep it and try to get them to do it, try to make them want to do it the right way.
Yeah.
It's different than but it's great. I mean, everything's good, and yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we have a great team. We were very fortunate for that. I mean, we couldn't do what we do without them, mm-hmm. and we love to find new team members and to be part of it.
Yeah.
That want to be part of it. When we interview people, they love what we have to offer. Typically, I mean, whatever. It's not for everyone, but it's for a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to go to the, talking about going through the apprenticeship program and, master's electrician, all that. How much of that training, obviously it teaches you how, electricity and how you build the buildings and all that. Does it teach you about the business side of it? Like what you're trying to get into?
So you're talking about the people we're bringing up?
No, for you. I'm sorry, going back to when you were starting, right? Want to start the business, and you're like, again, you have this apprenticeship program, you have the master's electrician program. Is that teaching you about what it's going to be like when you start your own business?
Absolutely not. I self-taught myself all of that. I learned a lot of things the hard way. I tell people all the time, I spent more in education than most people that went to law school did. I've made a lot of mistakes, but we're still here. We learn from them, we move forward, and we do our best not to do those again.
Yeah, and it's got to be, when you started it, it was you turning wrenches, it was you probably in the field, you doing all the work, and now, I mean, how many electricians are you running now?
If we count everyone, we're about 100.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You have to run a business a little differently when it's 100 versus 3.
Yeah, and it's not the same, and it's like you want to say you are a family. It's hard to say you're a family when you're trying to manage 100 people. So we are a family, but we're also a team, and you have to do what's best for the team. And unfortunately, sometimes that means team members don't work out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you need to do what's best for everyone. You can't just look out. The one person can drag you down. That's different than it was when we were 5 guys. You could turn that around. But now sometimes you just have to make the hard decisions, and that's been the toughest part for me. To have that expansion, to have all these people, and then to have to go to someone or have to direct someone else to say this person's not working out. We have to move forward.
Yeah, I know. And again, just knowing you and about you, that I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know I've heard you say in the past, like, right, your passion is about helping raise other people up.
Correct.
Right? And when you have to reverse that, to your point, that's a hard thing to undo, to say, I'm giving you a shot, but now
Right.
you got to go find something else.
Yeah, because unfortunately it all comes down to dollars and cents. Everyone's getting paid, and you don't want someone to see that this person's just skating by while they're busting their butt.
Yeah.
Then that person's not gonna. They don't want to work hard. Why do I have to work hard to help? To help expand, to help raise up the company if other people aren't going to do that, and that's contagious. That'll kill everything.
In the wrong way, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not a good thing. And that's the most difficult thing for me. But I'm working on that, and I'm getting past that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, gotta have to, right? That's one of those you gotta have to.
Yeah.
How do you guys keep all 100 people engaged?
So, because let's say a year ago we had about 40, so this year we have about 100. So it's hard. I have great help. I mean, I have a lot of great people around me that keep them engaged. Whether it's my management in Florida or in Michigan, we've had to learn and adapt to kind of stepping it down to keep people engaged all the way down to the bottom. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you can do it. I can't do it. I don't know. People say you don't know everyone's name. I mean, I know their name, but I don't. Sometimes I walk up to somebody, I haven't met them,
right?
And it's hard for me because for so long that wasn't the case.
Right. Because Power Solutions was Rob Doan.
Right. It was Rob Doan, and it was just me and Shannon. That was the very first guy that I ever hired, and and then we only had 8 guys for a long time. So it was really easy. But we do make a really good attempt at trying. I mean, we invite everyone. We've taken everyone. Every single one has been invited out to getaway trips. We just last year we took everyone to Mackinac. Everything for a long weekend. And so we do try to engage with them and keep them. Not everyone wants to participate. That's okay.
Yeah.
But we do offer that to everyone. Our Christmas parties are great. We bring everyone in. This year we're taking a trip for our Christmas party for the weekend. So that's how we try to do it, because it's the only way. I can't if I try to go and meet and engage with every single person every single day, I won't be able to run the business that I need to run, and
Right.
that doesn't help anyone.
Well, and that's what I wanted to get to, because I know you guys do above and beyond on the people side of things, right? Because to do the trip that you did, the Mackinac trip, and then obviously I was blessed to be able to come to your Christmas party, which is off the hook, if I can use that language as a 44-year-old man, I don't know. But, and it's just the thoughtfulness of, again, many people that are working in the field, face it, they generally don't get to, a lot of times they choose not to go do those extravagant things, right? They're used to working hard for what they do. And some of them might not travel. Some might not get to have a burlesque dancer, or well, I'm one of those people too. But
Hey,
so
I don't get to have a burlesque dancer unless my wife is there. Just
well, she did plan it, so I guess that's where you get it. But I think that's I think there's another piece of this that I think has been helpful for you, and which is not easy, by the way, is having family in the business.
Pluses and minuses. I brought my wife in about 2 years ago. Honestly, it's been 100% the best thing I ever did. Mm-hmm. She's much better on the people side of things than I am. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it does come with challenges. I mean, working with your wife every single day. I mean, it's, you live together.
Yeah.
We work together. We eat together. We go on vacation together. So you know what? You have to really have a strong relationship for that, because there are trials and tribulations that just come about, and you just have to get through them. And we're really good at it. I mean, it might take 5 minutes, but 5 minutes isn't a very long time.
That's the thing that one, I work with. I tend to, on the coaching side, work with a lot of family businesses, and there are. It's not always a husband-wife situation, but family in general. right? Because there's a lot more baggage that's coming to that door, through that door than most people who are just trying to punch that clock and do their job and get out of there. And so I know from my side and from all the people that, all of my folks that have worked with your team, that they would say the same thing. That's like the best thing you've done is being here.
Thanks. Out of all the other things I've done, that's the best thing I've done.
I was just jumping on the bandwagon for you.
But I agree. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. Like, you wouldn't be here today because it's the same type of thing of taking that plunge. Most people are stand frozen in not making that leap to go jump on that idea that they had, or to start that business, right? Like, holy shit. So
right.
To go do that, right? For me to say to bring my wife in every day too, that's like there's a lot of risk there potentially if you're not ready for it. But the reward can be, it's just like anything. It's risk reward.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It took a long time. There's a lot of struggles in the beginning. I was a sole provider when I left. I had 2 little kids. I mean, that was tough to just leave your place of employment where they're providing insurance. Your check comes every week.
Yeah.
So to take that, a lot of people thought I was crazy. But I did it, and that's the second best thing I've ever done.
Yes, you're great, and I promise she's not in the room listening to this. But I do have to thank her for having you here because I know you wouldn't be here without her. So
no, this isn't typically
thanks,
my
Amy.
thing. This is something she likes to do. But
yeah,
she used to speak all the time.
Yeah,
all over the country. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, and that's this is the other piece of that puzzle. Would you say she's like you?
No, a lot of ways we're alike, but we are very different people.
Right, and how you get work done.
She's a very process-oriented person. That's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of throw it all at the wall and see what sticks, and let's move forward.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get in the weeds. I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
So
you're talking to a mirror right now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just how I operate. And she'll look at me. She's like, I don't know how you keep it all together. And it's just in my head. I mean, even when it comes down to a calendar, we were talking about something, and she's like, well, I don't know what I have to do on that day. And I go, well, you have this. She's like, I don't know how you keep that in your head.
Yeah.
Look, I don't write it down anywhere, so I need to keep it somewhere. So yeah, but that part works out great because she is so process oriented. She keeps me on task. I mean, there's a couple reasons going to Florida. For one, we had one of our clients pushing us to go there. The other part is I wouldn't have still done it if she wouldn't have pushed me to do it. She kept saying, we need to do it. We love Florida. Why not? We'll give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? I mean, well, the worst thing that can happen is you lose money. And
Yeah.
but no, it's been great. Actually, we're working in Indiana right now. So we're working in 3 states, and we're working on Ohio. We have an inn in Ohio, so we're trying to go there.
Wow. Well, and that's where I wanted to go to. That again, trying to run a business in the style that again we both do, right. is fun for everyone in the beginning because we're all with them and we're a good time, right?
Right.
I can't argue. And again, we do get shit done, but it might not be the smoothest, and it might not be the same way every time, and no one can follow behind us to figure out how the hell we just did it or how to do it again without us. And so, one, it's managing the millions of dollars that you have here in Michigan, but then to try to go do that somewhere else,
right?
You need someone that, because I love to, like that visionary type operational thing. It's like the yin and the yang, right? It's the perfect mix of you with your ideas and someone executing it, but then someone also pushing you and letting you leaning into the thoughts or the dreams you had, right?
Right. And I could say I have a lot of that in our office, in which I'm trying to, build more of that. I've worked side by side with Dave for, 10 years. And he is also, we're yin and yang. He's very different. He's very focused and organized. And for me, it's the thrill of the chase. Get the job, the project, whatever it is, build the relationship. And then I just kind of hand it off, and everyone's like, what are we doing? Like, it's all in there.
Just do it.
It's not in there. Okay. Then I have to download it to him or upload it to him. and go from there. But he's he's been instrumental in helping get all keep all that straight, because when it was just me, it was bad. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good, but it was bad. We didn't have anyone keeping track of finances. We didn't have, I was doing it all till midnight every day. So now we're obviously you have to get a lot more organized with all of those. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to last very long. But.
Yeah. And I would, what most people don't understand on the contracting side, if you're not in the construction industry or understand how that works, right? Your number one variable, your number one risk is what? Your labor, right?
Labor, yes.
And your people. So your number one variable is labor, right? You still have to buy a ton of equipment, you buy a ton of commodity, cable and all these kinds of things. But the one thing you can control or can't, depending on how you look at it, it is your labor.
Correct.
And when you said you got like 100, that are in charge of millions and millions of dollars of potential.
Yes.
Right? How do you? I know you said you have people now that are leading that and pushing that. What's the most effective way to keep them on track? Like to make sure you are, because you estimated the job, right?
Right.
Like you said, like, hey, I got it in here. You got to go build it for that or less than what I have in there. So, how do you track that and manage it and all that?
So unfortunately, that's still something we're working on, because when we were 40 people, it was a lot easier, and now we have these people in another state, and our hours are always over there. So we're working on that. We're trying to fill that piece to make sure that we stay within our hours. A lot of times you'll run into a client or a project that's behind schedule. Next thing you know, they want 30 guys on one project. Well, the problem is those guys, a lot of them are just there wasting time. You're just making someone else happy. You're not getting the job done any faster. So that's the problem. Some of the problems we have, and controlling it is hard. You want to make the client happy, because obviously our business is built on reputation and recurring work. Doing work for the same people over and over again, because they trust us, we trust them. So we get stuck in those situations where I can't tell them we're just not going to put the guys there. We're going to get it done at the same time. That's an ongoing conversation every single week in our office right now, is managing the manpower, making sure we're staying within our estimated hours, because I can't have 5,000 hours in a project and come in at 15. It doesn't do us. It just doesn't work. The math doesn't work.
You're not in business to lose money? That's weird.
We really try not to. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it has to happen just to keep. I'm not going to say we've been in situations where we had a job go bad. It's with a client that we work for all the time. Well, what do? I suck it up and I take my hits and I keep moving. We have to get it done. The other option is to back off and not get it done, and I don't want that.
Right.
One of the first questions you get asked when you're signing on a new client is, have you ever walked off a project, or have you ever been kicked off a project?
Yeah.
I've never had either of those, so I don't want that. So we're actively working on trying to clamp down on all our man hours. It doesn't make a lot of people happy. That's for a long time we've let everyone just do it. Go do the job, do whatever it takes. But as we grow, you start to find that we have a lot of lost hours. That's something new for us. Like I said, we've doubled in the last basically 6 months.
Wow. Yeah, and it's got to be. It is a different change coming from the really, really small business to. At some point we got to be big boys and girls and measure stuff, right? That's right.
And people don't always, you're always trying to keep everyone happy. I want to go back and touch on you bringing family in. My son, he has worked with us. He worked for us for 3 years. I put him in the field. I put him on some of the worst projects we had, some of the Section 8 remodels that were bad. And he actually was mad. We sat down, we were around a campfire, and he was in tears about it. He's like, Dad, I just don't know why. I'm your son. Why do I have to do it? I go, you have to do it because you're my son.
Oh.
I am not going to put you on the gravy train you need to go down there. And you know what? He's a better man for it. And he still thanks me. He stayed down there. He sucked it up. He did the whole thing. And he didn't, never complained again about that.
Yeah.
So that was, that shows, I think, who I am as a person. I'm not going to just put you in here and let you sit around and do anything. You're going to go down there, and the guys, you're going to listen to the guys. And if you don't, they're going to send you home.
Yeah. One, I can see it in your eyes, by the way. Thanks for sharing that. But I think that for you to have that discipline too, to show him, to be like, no, you're not skating through this. I mean, how many stories do you hear about again, who knows what the future holds, if like kids are going to come into the business and take it over, but it's that second, third generation that kill it. Right. They kill businesses because they don't know what it was like to get there.
Right. I mean, they grow up, going back to when I said I grew up with nothing, I had to hustle. I worked. So I had free lunch at school, in high school, but it wasn't like it is today where you just swipe a card, your ID, and it goes in there. They had to look through the paper. Everyone knew you had free lunch. Yeah. So I had a job at 13 years old to pay for my lunch, even though I had free lunch because I didn't want I didn't want to be seen as the guy to get free lunch. So
wow.
I want them to have that in them. I mean, I get it. They have grown up differently, but that doesn't mean you can't put that kind of hustle into them.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah. What I'd like to, I like to have, ask my guests something that I really need to find a different word than failure because it's just a negative word. But what is a mistake, a failure, or something that significant to you that you learned the most from, and that maybe someone else can learn from?
As far as just in business,
can be anything. I mean, this is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
But at the same time, but whatever.
No, I mean, I guess one of the things is we try to keep everyone right. For me, I've learned the hard way of not just taking a job just to keep people working, because unfortunately, we've lost lots of money. I mean, we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to do that, and that doesn't help. It doesn't help the people we are able to keep. It only helps the people, some of the people we would have to get rid of who may go work somewhere else. So now we're pretty much making a decision to sink the whole ship to try to keep people here. So that's a difficult decision. Someone comes up to you and the job's worth 1.5, and they're like, well, I need you to do it at 1, and you need work, and so you take it. And we've been in that situation. We've done it, and we've learned the hard way. That's just not the right way to do things.
Yeah, the early on is like all revenue is good revenue, and then you realize no,
not all revenue. And making sure so we go through, not so much in Michigan because we've been here a long time, but in Florida we go through a pretty intensive vetting process. I mean, with bonding, and they're calling around for credit references, they're calling our banks. You really need to do that with your clients too. Because we all think, a job's a job and it's a good job. Well, if the client is no good, why? Yeah. I mean, doing work and not getting paid is it's just not a good thing for anyone.
No, that's actually, a really good point. I know we talk about core values and what they mean inside a company, but when I'd really, really love to get to a point where more companies are doing what you just said. Like, I'm going to vet my customer with the lens of, is it a core value fit, right? Because if they are, if they're of the old way that you said you grew up in the business, and they're the ones that beat you with a wrench, do you really want to do business with them, even if there's good money in it? No, because your people are going to be miserable. You're going to be miserable, and life's too short to be doing shitty business and making shitty money, right? So that to me is a nugget that I know when we have, I've never really fired someone officially customer-wise, but when we have stopped doing business with someone mindfully, and the sigh of relief for all my people, it's just priceless, and how much more fun we actually have, right? Because it's just, life's too short, right?
Yeah, some clients take they're a lot of work. Yeah. And sometimes, even in they can be a lot of work in the field, they can be a lot of work for the office. And if they're not good, if the projects aren't good either, then there's no reason to move. We should all move on, and maybe we find someone that we get along with better, work with better. Yeah. Because like you said, life's too short. I don't need phone calls screaming at me over nothing.
Yeah.
Because just people, the high strung. I'm a really laid back person until you push me to the edge, and then it's
Yeah. You're showing up so you don't want to be. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And I really try hard, and I worked on myself for a long time to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't care as much. It's just there's a better way to do things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Rob, thank you, and thank Aaron for having you on here. For everyone else, right here, certainly here in Southeast Michigan, and in many parts of Florida, right, growing, adding people all the time, mindfully with a training program, not just in the field, but obviously helping on the business side of things. Power Solutions. What's the website?
PowerSolutionsInc.com.
Awesome. And again, I know they're all social media and LinkedIn and everything else. So again, great family to work for. Urge anyone that is looking for something, sign up for them. So Rob, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to The Roll Call with John Glahn. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe for more insightful conversations. Remember, discovering your true role in life is a journey worth exploring each and every day. Until next time, keep defining your path and living your authentic self. This is John Glahn signing off.